Hey guys, I took another trip into Leeds today to meet up with a friend, and partway through the day he had to do a little bit of run an errand, basically do a bit of Christmas shopping, and I decided to take that time to also just have a look around Leeds, have a look around some of the shops and that. But I also took some like old retro games with me to get rid of. They're just not doing anything for me, so they're not ones that I want in my actual collection. So I thought, well, why not? Let's take them down. I know there's a few shops in Leeds that should take them, and I thought, well, I don't really need the cash per se, so I'll just like try and get some trade credit for them. And okay, I mean, I'll show you what they are. I'll show you a couple of pictures of them, just so you have an idea of what I was taking. But I took a total of 42 games, as you can see, across like quite a few different consoles. You've got a couple of Mega Drive games in there, you've got PS2, a mixed bag of games basically. And yeah, I know they're not necessarily massively valuable, but at the same time, just like any old games, someone might want them. So yeah, I went into a shop called Convert to Cash. Apparently they have more than one shop, but this was the one that was in Leeds. Now this is also very close to a theatre. For anybody who's in Leeds, there's a theatre nearby called the Grand Theatre, I think it was called. So yeah, if you're familiar with that area, then yeah, this is a word of warning, basically. So, went into there to get a sort of trade quote, just a rough estimate, because at the time I didn't have a lot of time basically. So I went in there and I was planning to do a couple of other things, and I thought, well, I'll pop in there, see what they offer me as a rough estimate, and then if it sounds alright, I'll do what I need to do and maybe do a little bit of Christmas shopping myself before I meet back up with my mate. And yeah, so basically went in, he had a look at the games, and he was like, basically, he says, oh, okay, you've got like Spyro and you've got Tekken 2 in there. Oh, he says, oh, you've got 2 copies of that in there. And he says, yeah. He says, these have just been kind of just sat around in my house and not really doing anything. He says, it's not really games that I want, so just thought I'd bring them here and see if we could do a little bit of a trade deal. And he basically turned around and says, well, most of the games you have are rubbish and they're not really worth very much. Now, I think there's much better ways to word things than most of your games are rubbish and they're not worth very much. Now, I knew some of the games were not worth a lot, I understand that, but to turn around and just basically call what I'm bringing in is trash, I think is a little bit disrespectful. So he said, well, do you have an idea what you want from them? I says, honestly, I'm not sure. I says, I don't really have the time to go through eBay listings and try and find like a rough guide price for every single game. I says, so I think you should be able to sell these. They're not particularly like, okay, they're not, like I say, they're not particularly massively valuable, but I'm sure there's someone who'll want them. So, and they're not all sports games either. I mean, if I'd have taken like 40 copies of FIFA 09 or something like that, then yeah, they're worth nothing. We know that. But he offers me £5 for the whole lot. £5, yeah. Needless to say, I just said, oh, well, I'm sorry. He says, that is an absolute rip-off, honestly. And I don't care what anybody says about that. There's no way that a proper trader of retro games would offer someone only £5 on those. So they don't know what they're doing, basically. They don't give a shit. And they were clearly trying to fob me off. And like, he tried to turn it around by saying, well, do you have a rough guide of what you actually want? And I says, well, like I say, I think I could get more online, but I says, but I don't have the time to list them, so what about, I just came up with a figure and I thought, what about 40 quid trade? Not cash, trade. So I had to spend that amount in the store, which I would have been happy to do. And he just like, he was like, no, I can't do that, blah, 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 blah. He says, you got to understand, I have like 20 or 30 copies of most of the games you have here, and they're not selling. And it's like, I says, no, this is a tiny little corner shop sized retro store. There's no way they have that many. So again, he was bullshitting me. And I basically was like, well, I says, I'm sorry, but £5 is an absolute joke. And I says, if you know anything about retro video games, you know that that is an absolute joke of an offer. And he says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go up to £10. Oh, fucking £10. How generous you are. Fucking piss take. And then he also just said again, going on about the point of most of the games are rubbish or trash, basically. And he says, well, most of the games you have are just pieces of plastic. They're not worth anything. And it's like, yeah, don't bullshit me. Don't bullshit me. You clearly had no intention of even giving me a reasonable offer to begin with. You could have been honest and you could have been nicer about it and said, look, honestly, there's only a few games I would actually want to take from here, and like pick the ones out that you would want and give me an offer on those. I would have been cool with that, because I know they might not want to take certain titles, but it's the way he did it, it's the way he said it, and it's the way he essentially insulted me, and felt like I was just like, why the fuck did I come in here? I mean, I didn't swear or anything like that. I certainly swore when I went out of the shop, and I told my mate about it, and I was proper pissed off. It took a little bit of shine off my day actually, because it was cool hanging out with my mate, but that really did piss me off. And I thought I would do this video. It's completely sort of spontaneous, but I thought I would do this video as a word of warning. Don't go to convert to cash leads. They don't know what they're doing. They insult customers and they talk to them like shit, which is what he basically described my games as. So yeah, guys, treat this as an avoid all at all costs. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna have a bit of a vape because I'm pissed off after that. So catch you later.